Hold on, let's see.
It says live. Oh, tell me.
Is it?
It says live here, point 21. Yeah.
Huh.
It's
Okay, let
telling
me
you
check.
something. Okay.
Let me check. Oh, okay. Yeah, we are live. There it is. Okay, we're
All
here.
right. Woohoo!
All right. So, hey, everybody. Oh, happy Tuesday to everyone. Hope everybody's having a great day. Today's been a little heavy for me, but I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But today I have a special guest with me. I have Charmaine Holland, and Charmaine is very special to me. She's a very special part of my life, and she has been for the past a little over a year, right? We met on Clubhouse over a year ago.
Yes.
And we've just been kicking it ever since. It's just really been a divine connection. So I'm just going to let her go ahead and tell you all who she is, what she does, and why she does it. Hi,
Okay.
Charmaine.
Thank you. Good morning again. Happy Tuesday, family. My name is Charmaine Holland, and I am a passionate motivated speaker. I'm a spiritual intuitive life coach. I am an author. I am a prison chaplain. I do so much. As you know, women, we are Renaissance women, but my whole passion is about helping empower women to uncover their trauma so they can discover their authentic self, so they can live in a true purpose.
Mhm.
So that's what I do. But prior to that, I was a bookkeeper. COVID happened. God said, get out in the world and go help people. And from that point, I've been living my purpose. And I met Cheryl on Clubhouse. Yes, we did. We met. She taught me how to have a room. And from there, it was like she said, divine connection. We had just been truly connected from that point. And then we started collaborating on business, and then we started to grow on a spiritual journey. And that what brought us about this here podcast today of how she is breaking through her spiritual journey, and by me using my spiritual intuitive to help and guide her. So thank
Yes.
you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. It's been a long time since we since we were saying we were going to do this, and now we're doing it. So I'm happy about
Yes,
that. Yes.
good, good, good.
Yeah. So yeah, Charmaine, like I was telling you before, today has
Yeah.
been a heavy day. I felt like I was just crying all morning, but I felt like it was releasing,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing I noticed about myself, um, I notice patterns with people and in myself, but I think self-awareness is really great in times
Yes.
like this because it's like, for me, I know if I am releasing, I'm doing it for like an hour or 2 hours, and then spirit just comes in and says, okay, it's time to get back, going, get moving. You know what I'm saying? That's enough.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
so, yeah, so it's not like an all day pity party for me, and I realized that. And I think it's like that because I really embrace my spirituality in
Mhm.
every part of my life, and I've been doing it. I think my spiritual awakening started when I was around my solar return, around 29, 30 years old,
Okay.
and so that's how my growth has been throughout the years. And then when I met you, it's like I really busted the doors open, like you really helped
Mhm.
me do that, and just shifted me in so many different ways. So I want you to just tell us a little bit about how you are able to do that, how you're able to shift our energy and shift our mindset, because I think a lot that has a lot to do with it as well.
Okay. Well, I will say, we all are spiritual human beings,
Mhm.
but something in our life has allowed us to close that door. Whether growing up as a child, being abandoned, something happened where we turned that switch off. Just like you see, when you see little kids, they're very intuitive. They so connected, with the universe and everything. But something happens where they get into a emotional mechanism where they shut off, and
Yeah.
so from there, we just try to play survival. We're living our life going through survival. So since I was a little kid, I have always seen spiritual, or I'm very intuitive. My brothers and them would have to say, "Oh, you always see something," and mom will always have to put a string to bring you back. And
Mhm.
so for me, I don't really remember pretty much of when I was young having the gift, but I will say that I remember when I was 18, I graduated from high school, and it was time for me to go. And I heard Spirit said, "It ain't nothing else here. Time to go." So I just started packing up, and I moved to California. And from that point, I pay attention to my inner spirit and I make sure I listen to the right guidance. And so from that, you go through life and everything. And sometimes you forget to hear that little voice because you're on a mission. You know how sometimes we have these dreams and we have these goals. And keep in mind, I'm still young, trying to be mom and trying to do everything else. You just know the things that you got to do. But
Yeah.
my kids, I have two boys. My
Mhm.
kids is 37. I have one 37, one 27. So now it's just mom. So now I can pay more attention to me. I can go a little bit deeper and be in tune with who I am. And so it allowed me to be able to hear, and hear the messages that's coming through. Or for instance, sometimes you come to me, you ever hear, you ever know when God put somebody on somebody's heart, and it's like, okay,
Mhm.
reach out to that person. She needs you. Well, that happens to you. So that's why I called, Cheryl. I'm reaching out.
Right.
Ready to give you a call. You all right? Oh,
Mhm.
Charmaine, I'm so glad you called me. I was hoping you called me.
Yeah.
But that connection, you felt that connection. Well, that's
Mhm.
me every day. It's like Spirit put somebody on my mind. It's like, okay, let me reach out to this person. But I get busy sometimes and I forget and I'll get that reminder again. So it's all about mindset. And then, I know it has to do with a lot about me being a teen mom. I was 13 years old. I was a teen mom. So that meant that a lot of things I could not do the other adults or other kids my age did. So I had to step back and kind of just focus on being mom, taking care of my child. And all I did was I observed. I paid attention to a lot of the elders. And that was my teaching. My teaching was paying attention and connecting with the people who I seen, and even my children teaching me the do's and the don't do's. And it just kept me in a perfect alignment where I can be able to stay connected more spiritually and know how to listen to the signs and stuff like that. And, for me, I just kind of just pay attention and just allow myself to just grow and not rush the process
Mhm.
because it can be a lot, you know?
Yeah, it can be a lot. And I know you told me to stop trying to rush things, just kind of let it go naturally. And,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
baby
yes.
steps, but you'll get there and stuff like that. And I think,
Correct.
yeah, so like I said, you're a big part of my life because like you kind of keep me on that steady path and on track. Um, I mean, and I need that because I'm always trying to rush something. My patience these days have been, you know, but yeah, and you're just gifted and able to do that. And your energy, of course, is like is just so infectious. You just draw on everybody. Everybody is drawn to you and stuff like that. So I want you to talk a little bit about the prison ministry that you have.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I go, okay, well, thank you. Yes, same thing, God said, get out in the world, go help people. I did not know that I was going to be a prison chaplain. I was a prison chaplain about 5 or 6 years ago because that was volunteer. I wanted to do that. Didn't know that I was actually in training. So somebody came to me about a year ago and said, Charmaine, you want to go back into prison? And I heard somebody told me, Charmaine, you're going to be reaching out to the women in prison. I'm thinking, really? Do I really want to do that? And the calling came and I went and I just love it because I just be pouring into the women and they were like, who are you, lady? It's not
Mhm.
something that they used to, you know what I mean? I give it
Yeah.
to them raw, I ask them, why are you here? And they'll tell me and I talk to them and I get a little deep with them. And so I am an author of a book of affirmations. So I always, ask them, hey, give me an affirmation word. Give me a word that comes to you. And then we get a little deeper with that word. And then they look at it and like, wow, I never looked at it like that. So I tell them, like, for instance, they'll tell me, oh, I'm beautiful. And I said, okay, well, what does that look like? And then they step back, like, say, oh, I gotta think about that. And I said, a rose don't tell itself beautiful that it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Somebody got to tell that rose that got is beautiful. So that means there's work you got to do. Okay, you
Mhm.
want to be beautiful, but that's going to require some work. So that's how I work with the ladies. I give them a little homework assignment, and
Mhm.
sometimes they just be crying and saying, "Thank you, God, since you here." And I said, and then the beautiful thing I always tell them about their butterfly. I said, when you see me, I said, right now you in a cocoon state. And I said that I came to give you some tools. And I said, you see these books I'm giving you to help you grow? I said, don't give it to nobody else. Because a lot of times they say, oh, I gave somebody my books. I said, no, you gave somebody your wings. Now you can't grow. And so that's what I
Mm.
empower them with. So I said, now the moment you give somebody your book, you just gave them your wings. Don't come back to me and ask me. I'm gonna put you back in a cocoon state. So I
Right.
but I love it. I love it. And sometimes they get moved to different locations, but they write me and say, all right, Charmaine, I'm in this state. I still need your connection. And it's beautiful. And I mean, I just love going to see them every Friday. And when I
Mhm.
go and see them, sometimes I only can have maybe 25 ladies on my list. Next minute, I got 50 on my list because they'll see
Wow.
me and they say, oh, they'll see me. And they say, oh, somebody told me that I need to talk to you. And so I said, get in line, just sign your name to the list. And that's what I do. And so I love it. I love it. So thank you for asking me that question.
Yeah, and you're making such an impact on people. I mean, everywhere you go, you make an impact, but I know you're really making an impact on them
Thank
because,
you.
of where they are and yeah, it can be a hard that's a hard situation and you're getting them through.
Yes,
And
yes,
you're getting them through. So
yes.
that's amazing. I love that. And you spoke about affirmations, and um I think you kind of forced me to do the affirmations because I wasn't doing them before. I just, I'm like, oh, affirmations, okay, but when you put meaning behind what it is that, we should be saying and how we should be
Mhm.
feeding our soul, it just makes all the difference. So
Yes.
talk a little bit about affirmations and what you're going to be doing, soon, because we talked a little bit about that, I think yesterday
Okay.
or the day before, with
Okay.
affirmations and
Okay.
going deep.
Well, don't feel bad because I really wasn't in really affirmations too. You
Mhm.
only hear what you see, which other people are doing, right? So
Yeah.
you say, I am strong, I'm resilient, I'm magnificent, just the basic. And then all of a sudden, because I'm intuitive, my books were channeled
Mhm.
to me as spiritual affirmations. And so as I was just writing it, I was being channeled by putting the information in there. But a lot of
Mhm.
it I can relate to. Like one of my passions is acceptance. I struggle trying to find out where do I fit at. Acceptance is so important. It's like if you know how many times you go somewhere and you don't feel comfortable, that
Mhm.
means you ain't meant to be there. That is not a part of your
Mhm.
alignment. And so as I started writing a book and the book got published, it started to read to me. It started to bring life to me. It shift my mindset in such a way where I said, wait a minute. Affirmations, I said, sometimes we say affirmations because that's what we see on the outside, but we got to go a little deeper on the inside. So, so it's like I mentioned example, beautiful, I am beautiful. And so I ask people, okay, well, what does that mean? What does that look like to you?
Mhm.
And so it's like I tell people your soul is speaking to you. Your soul is telling you beautiful. So now what does that mean? Beautiful is going to require some discipline. It's like, for instance, you want somebody to say, man, she is beautiful. Her spirit just lights up. She's this, she's that. That's when you know you have reached that level of beautiful. And I always say, you're going to have to say it over and over and over. You're going to have to own it. You
Mhm.
really believe that that's what you want. You have to own it because it's a part of your purpose of who you really are. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
people say, hey, she's magnificent. Okay, magnificent. That means it required a lot of work to become magnificent.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So your spirit is speaking to you. It's telling you to be obedient. It's helping you to find your authentic self so you can drive in your purpose. And that's what it is all about.
Yeah, you said ownership, and that really stuck out to me, and I think that's why people aren't so deep into affirmations or really don't,
Hmm.
think that they work because
Hmm.
it is about ownership.
Correct.
You actually owning what you're saying and really just going deep with it. Like
Yes.
like you said, I mean, it's just unpacking it,
Yes. Yes.
and stuff like that. So yeah, and like I was saying before, I think I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago, whatever, I was talking about me not having a routine, and I
Hmm.
get myself a routine, and you kind
Hmm.
of got me into that because you're like, you need to feed your soul every day. Nobody else is going to do that for you,
Absolutely.
It's like you're right.
Absolutely.
I have to tell myself things every single day because nobody's here to do that for me.
Mm-mm.
Nobody's standing over
Mm-mm.
my head for trying to do that. So,
No,
um,
and the sad thing about it, we wasn't taught at a young age to feed
right,
ourselves. We were taught to
exactly.
always help and give and do this or whatever. But it's so important that you wake up and feed your soul, by because you get messages. For me, I get a lot of downloads. I wake up
Mhm.
and I get a vision or I'll get a message and I just write down and I get my understanding of what it means. And then I write my affirmations. I write that I'm grateful. I write that I'm thankful. And then I get myself, it's almost kind of like I'm shielding myself for today. It's like, okay, let me
Mhm.
put my armor on today. People do prayer, but I do a lot of journal. I do affirmations. I
Mhm.
do prayer. I have like I have my dream book, everything that I want to do and accomplish
Yeah.
before the day I die, I repeat it. And you'll be amazing. You put it in your subconscious and you eventually end up walking into the things that you want to do. And just like me, helping women, this is exactly what I always wanted to do many years ago. So it's just manifesting the things that you say, and that's how you feeding your soul. If you don't feed your soul,
Mm.
somebody else is going to feed your soul. Feed your soul with
Mm.
something that you don't want.
Right. That's so true. And you know what? Journaling, you'll be proud of me. I journaled today.
Good, 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 good. That's probably why you're crying.
Yeah, and it was
You
like
need
as
to.
I was releasing and then I was journaling, I'm like, "Oh, I needed to do that."
Yeah.
So I think and I know you've been trying to get me to do that and and I've been kind of lazy with it, but you told me yesterday, you said, "Write, start writing." And I
Yes.
said, "Okay, okay, I have to make a decision today to do this."
Yes.
Right. If I want, like you said, if you want to manifest things, you have to, put it into action. You have to do the things that are necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I was proud of myself for that today, and I thought Jessica was Charmaine would be proud of me too.
Good, 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 good. I'm gonna share a little nugget that I share with the ladies in the prison.
Mhm.
And when they cry, I always say when you cry, somebody has to water your flowers. And if
Mm,
you do not water your flower become dry. And so
mhm,
crying, I thought, crying, we ain't supposed to cry. We supposed to be strong. Men ain't supposed to cry. Women ain't supposed to cry. It shows your weakness. No,
yeah,
I for a long time I did not cry. I thought if
right.
I cry, I showed my
Mhm,
weakness. But
mhm,
one moment in my life last year, I cried like a baby. I mean, my whole foundation was in a puddle of water. And so
mhm,
God showed me, he said, look, your foundation has been so dry because
mm.
you're not crying. And so
Ooh,
I cried so much. And so think of a flower. When you cry, you're crying into the soil. So you're letting the seed grow so you can
mm,
blossom. That's what about crying is all about. And so I cry. I need to grow. I need to elevate. I need to look beautiful. So it's okay to cry. Okay. I just want to let you know, whoever's listening, cry your heart
mm,
out if you have to. That means your foundation is dry and it needs a little moist. Okay.
you right about that. I will say you are a master at shifting perspective. I'm telling you, because you already know when we get on the phone and stuff like
I
that,
know.
now you just shift the whole thing, and I'm just like, oh, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't think about it like that. So, but yeah, I wanted to ask, what are some of the first steps that we can do to have discipline in our spirituality, in our spiritual growth? I think that's important for us to understand. Just some
Just
steps that we can take. Hmm.
okay. I would say the most important thing to start off with is shutting everything off. Get in tune with yourself. Know who you are because some people don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
We listen to the radio, we listen to the TV, we listen to this person, we listen to that person.
Mhm.
We got so much noise going on,
Yeah.
you ain't even listening to yourself.
Right.
And you got so much in you that want to talk to you, but you
Mm.
can't hear it. So you got to shut it off. And I have learned to shut it off. Be still in that space because all we got is time and space. So to
Yeah.
think about it with time, what you going to do with your time, and in space, how you going to handle yourself in the space. But if you listen to everybody else and all this noise, you just moving everybody, but you're not listening to what your spirit is telling you who
Yeah.
you are. And so tune some things out. Maybe take an hour. If you're not used to it, me when I drive, I don't listen to music. I don't listen to nothing. I don't even watch TV. Once in a while I say, okay, what's going on in the world? I'll turn the news on, or I'll go to the gym and everybody's in there talking about what's happening. That's how I get fed what's going on in the world. Other than that,
Mhm.
I cannot tune it because I got so much in me that got to come out. You say I shift mindsets. I shift mindsets because it's coming from in me because I'm not listening to what everybody else is saying. I got to
Mhm.
focus on what Charmaine's saying so I can be able to stand in my authentic self and share the wisdom and knowledge with those who needs it. So that's the
Mm.
first key of trying to tune everything out. If you could do that, you'll be amazed. And just listen to yourself. Whatever comes
Right.
to you, don't doubt. Don't
Right.
doubt yourself. That's it.
I love it. It's, and we don't have to complicate it. We don't have to make it harder than what, like we just don't. I think we like to do that. We like to complicate it or think that it is complicated, but it's not. You
It's not.
know, it's really
Mm-mm.
not. Slow down, slow
Yeah.
down. Sit with
So,
yourself. Yeah, get to
yeah.
know who you are, like you said.
That part. That part. You'll be amazing who Cheryl really is.
Right.
I was amazing who Charmaine was when I had to find out who she was. Like, oh my God, that's her.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the thing about it, I had to learn why Charmaine was doing a couple of things in the past. And I said,
Mhm.
oh, I was doing that because I had some issues that I did not know I had. And
Mhm.
so you end up start to peel the layers of who you truly are so you can be that beautiful blossom person that God wanted you to be. So you can live
Mhm.
your purpose.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So tell us where we can find your books.
Okay, you can find my book on Amazon.com. I have one book called Walking in Your Purpose, Spiritual Affirmations, One Day at a Time. And then the other one is called Walking with Grace. And that's a spiritual affirmation is on Amazon. Or you can go to my website, which is CharmaineHolland.com. And you can find my books there.
Okay. And that's also where they can go if they want to speak to you or do a consultation or anything like that to
Yes,
go to your
yes,
website.
yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
all right. Y'all heard it here first. Miss Charmaine, she listen. You gotta catch it when you can because she be moving and shaking. I tell her all the time. I say, I know you out there being busy and doing your thing. So, but it was great to have you, Charmaine. I hope we can come back soon when you have some time and we'll have another conversation.
Absolutely. Anytime, just
Yeah.
let me know. And I would love to come back and share a little bit about, messages that we talked about in the past and, helping
Mhm.
people to understand about, more spirituality, the dreams, little more
Yes,
yes.
that would be
And not be afraid. I have a lot of people they end up having some situation that occur and they so afraid of
awesome.
tapping in to that spiritual world. And so I always make it easy and fun for them to understand it so they can be a little bit more ease with it and open up that door. Like I help you open up that door. I help a lot of other people open that door.
Yes. Okay. Amanda says, can you name the books again? Can you give her the names of the books?
Sure, yes. One of them is called Walking in Your Purpose, One Day at a Time. And it's spiritual affirmation, Charmaine Holland. If you go on Amazon and Google Charmaine Holland or Walking in Your Purpose, it'll pop up. And then the other book is called Walking with Grace.
Hmm. Yep. There they are. All right. Well, yeah, it looks like we're gonna have a part two because I'm definitely here for that conversation that you were just talking about. Yeah, dreams and stuff. Oh yeah, we can get into that.
Okay, sound good. Sound
All
good.
right. All right, everybody. Well, take care. We will see you next time. And yeah, just go follow Charmaine. I think she's on all the platforms. Yeah, you are on all the platforms, aren't you?
Yes, yes,
LinkedIn,
ma'am.
Facebook, Instagram. She's everywhere. Just Charmaine Holland. So all you gotta do is Google her name. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Take
It was a
care.
pleasure. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you.